Welcome back to the lab. I'm sitting in the March again doing a video. There's one person in particular out there in the world who hates that, apparently, so good. Let's do another one. The car's broken. He'll love that. Sort of. He won't like that. It's actually not an expensive fix. He's definitely not going to like that. But let's have a look. Backstory. So, second session, end of Super Lap series. On the Saturday, ran the car quite low on fuel, trying to save on weight and just a little bit safer, the less flammable stuff you have in there if you're going to try and drive it hard, the better. Until you have too little, and then you have massive fuel surge on the Porsche dipper, and that's not good, especially with an ethanol fuel and turbocharged and relatively high compression. All those things, bad. Moderate amount of throttle, quite low RPM, and certainly not high on boost. It was basically atmospheric pressure. So those things, good. Third session, we didn't really even do a session. We left the pits. It was raining, went around the track checking on something else, and came straight back into the pits. Now, the something else, which I'm not going to talk about, is why we didn't run the car on the Sunday. It's not engine related, it's not turbo related, it's not smoke related. It's nothing to do with stuff in that area of the car. So we did the parade thing on the Sunday at lunchtime, and the car was quite smoky. Definitely quite smoky. Appeared to be coming from the left-hand bank in the car. The engine's backwards, so it's actually the right-hand bank of the engine. And I took note of that and went, no, that's not good. We need to start looking into what's happened here, how we can deal with this. What have we busted? Have we busted something? Being quite concerned about the fact that we did run it quite low on fuel, a massive fuel surge. So I know the turbos are mounted quite low, and that's an issue. That can cause draining issues from the turbochargers, and clearly that'll cause smoke if you're blowing all past your seals. Got my hands on a TurboSmart oil pressure regulator to control the feed pressure for the turbos to 40 psi maximum. This thing starts up and it's 100 psi oil pressure. It's way too much for the turbos. So you did tend to get, even when they were in good condition, brand spanking new, it did tend to get a little bit of smoke first start for the weekend until the car had got up to temp, and then it would clear and you wouldn't see it again. So we started with that. Checked, had a look around, bit of oil in the exhaust system, yep, expected that. Quite a bit of oil in the intake system. That's adds up to, yeah, your turbocharger seals are leaking. So cleaned all the oil out of the intake system as best as I could do, and went and did GTR Festival. Still smoky. Quite smoky. Not good. So, okay. Car's running fine, no, but smoky. So, got it home. Now we got to try and diagnose this. Have we actually busted a piston or something like that? So, out with the endoscope, boroscope, camera on the end of a stick. Spark plugs out, have a look. All the pistons look fine. They're a little bit dirty, but they basically look brand new. So any detonation that you see normally would have some evidence on the top, but not always. You can crack a ringland without any evidence. So there was no confirmation of damage, but there was no confirmation that it was perfect, if you get what I mean. So there was quite a bit of oil in some of the cylinders. Spark plugs had a little bit of oil on them, but that's coming through the intake system, I believe, and it apparently is going to take some time to clean that out when you're running on ethanol at relatively low temperatures. It doesn't tend to get washed out as much as what it might do when you're running on normal petrol. So I got the old parts cleaner out, down all the bores, and wash out all the bores. Right, cool. Now we've got a clean engine, and we can run it and see if we've still got smokies. So running up, we still had smoke. Just wafting out of it a little bit at idle. We bring it up to 1500, 2000 RPM and hold it there. Yeah, a lot. It's not good. Interestingly, at high boost out on the track. Doesn't appear to be any at all. Usually that's usually symptoms of turbochargers. So next step was basically take a turbocharger off. So left hand side's the easiest one to do. Pull the turbo off, left it plumbed so it still had its oil supply and its drain, it still had the water going through. It just wasn't being fed any exhaust from the engine. Just kind of pushed it aside in the engine bay. Ran the car up, sweet, no smoke. A little bit from the right hand side that still had the turbo on there, but basically problem solved. So the engine isn't making any smoke. The engine isn't putting any oil into the exhaust system and dumping it into the turbocharger, which was a potential, just big job, take it all apart, pull it to pieces to find it's not actually broken, and expensive to do that. So at this point, I believe I've confirmed we've got both turbo seals are leaking, seal kits, the center rotating housing thing. So let's have a look at those. I'll show you the boring bit first. So there's the engine still in the car. A lot of things are attached. Still not the exhaust systems, they're just sitting there, exhaust pipes, but pleased to be able to get both of those off without having to drop the engine out of the car. Pat on the back for Mr. Glenn with his design. Don't worry about the fluids lying around the bottom there, we'll clean that later. They won't be going back on without putting the thing on the hoist and taking everything apart properly to install the rebuilt, repaired, replacement, whatever, turbos. Now, I'm not having a crack at this particular brand, but just to explain, these are not super expensive turbos. These are not high-end. They're not Garrett's or some such thing. They're a lower-end turbo. And the supplier in New Zealand did me a great deal and helped me out of a bind where we had a screw, I don't think it's kicking around, a screw come out of the inside of a foam-style air filter, and it went and it took out the compressor and destroyed the turbo. And they helped us out and got these at a great price and in the car, and they were good. They make good power and all that sort of carry on. That's fine. The issue they're having is more related to the installation in the car than the actual turbos themselves. But being fair and honest, they're not super expensive turbos. This style of turbo, the design is known to have a bit of a fault with seals and stuff, and they have changed designs. All manufacturers using a similar design have changed them and updated them so that that doesn't happen as much anymore. And the option is there for me to upgrade these to a type of same brand if I wanted to, with dual seals on them and stuff and things like that. So, but anyway, that aside, say you're looking to buy some second-hand, these have been cleaned, right? Say you're looking to buy some second-hand turbochargers, and old mate off marketplace is telling you they're good and they don't leak and everything. And if you're looking at them thinking they look particularly clean, well, these are not that great, right? They're a little bit dirty. If you can take them apart and have a look, there's some telltale signs. If there's carbon sitting around inside here, there's probably been oil burning inside there. If there's a lot of it, you can expect to see a little bit, but this is a bit more than a little bit. Leaky seals. You'll see, you might see this oil behind there as well. But there you go. So anyway, as I said, we may upgrade these. There's several options on the table at the moment. Is replace with similar. Well, actually, there's kit these first of all. That's the basic one, right? That's the cheapest option. Will get us going again in under $1,000 probably. I don't know. I don't want to speak on behalf of a chap who might kit them, but that's the cheapest option. Next option is to just get some replacement cores to go straight in there from, I guess Garrett's would fit in there, or the brand that these are. Just that'll do. That'll cost a little bit more money. It'll be going again. If you go for the expensive brand, you're probably going to get as good, maybe better than the kitted version. If you go for the cheap brand, then you're going to have the same as what we had here, which will go for a bit, and then it'll fail again. So then the other option is to upgrade to bigger, they call it supercore. So we'd stay with the same housings, turbine housings, and replace this lot with a bigger compressor wheel, make it more go faster, more better. So that's another option. Then there's a couple of options, changing the entire design of the turbocharger completely to basically the Garrett G series style. More power, more response, and slightly different layout. V-bands on here, which would enable a change of the design of manifolds and get our turbos a bit higher and help with all that sort of stuff. Don't know if we'd go there, to be honest. And then we have an option on the table for replacing all of what's inside here with something more better from another manufacturer, involving a bunch of machining and wizardry from one of the gurus in New Zealand to make something real cool. So that may happen. That may happen as well. I'll just figure something out later on. The only reason why I'm mucking around with this thing today is our little girl's got a cold and she's coughing all night and I can't get any bloody sleep. So then I don't want to be working on the this low cost here behind us while I'm tired and grumpy and making mistakes. So I'll probably be doing that over the weekend now instead of working on the March over the weekend. So there you go. I should really mention our good mates at Nissan King. I've lost it. We have to come walking around here. They're still on board, believe it or not. Still helping us out. We got ourselves a exchange engine. So somebody had killed their engine in the car and we got this, pulled it apart, and got ourselves a new engine block just in case we needed it for in there. But as you've just been listening to all the babble, we probably don't need this anymore. So it was bloody awesome of them to help us out and supply that. But hopefully, the way things are looking at the moment with what we've seen, what I've seen just now, hopefully we don't actually need to use that engine block. I've talked to my mates at Z1 about oversized pistons and all that sort of stuff, sort of had all my ducks all lined up in a row there, just in case we need to push the button and buy that sort of stuff. I don't think we do, so that's quite good. Well, we could, but we really don't need to. We can handle a little bit of blow-by, and that's what we've got. It's not going to be the end of the world. We'll just manage that. And we've got our nice little catch can that I designed in there. That big beastie there. It might be some sort of a system where I put another drain hose from there back into the engine block or something, so if we do push too much oil into here, we'll get some of it, we'll go back into there or whatever. Manage it. Don't need to necessarily throw thousands of dollars at the engine just to run the car 5 or 6 times a year. There you go, there's an update on the March. Yes, it's broken. No, it's not all that bad. And no, the thing that's broken had actually nothing to do with why we didn't run on the Sunday at Super Lap. Very good. Thanks for watching. Let's try and do something interesting next time. All right, cheers, bye.
March, as I said earlier, is one of our Super Lap cars.